My degree is in early childhood education. And so I worked in that field for 15 plus years while raising my 7 kids. So I know the importance of teachers, parents, and community all working together to ensure that every child, regardless, enter kindergarten ready and prepared. And that sets them on a good path for the rest of their school years and life. So education is definitely a place for me. Second, I will work to create jobs. Again, I just have to go back to the light rail. There's going to be a lot of construction going on there, and also the redevelopment that's going on in the community. We need jobs, but we also need to bring in resources for our young people. We also need to bring in training for our young people. We need opportunity, and they need hope. So we want to work on creating those opportunities through the resources, training, and jobs. And that can be created many, many ways. I think that's for us as state representatives to work on that. And as a community to work together to ensure that our community is getting the resources that they need, that we need. And I think the third issue that I would work on is, I've been hearing a lot about safety. Families not feeling safe in our community. Our elders are not feeling safe in our community. And we need to be able to walk out of our doors into our community and feel safe. And again, that's another piece about ensuring that we are restoring local government aid to our community. So we can do, when we need to call the police, they will respond because we have enough of them on the streets to respond. But we also need to do more community policing, which is about not just us reporting crime, but our police building relationship with us in the community so that we feel good about connecting with the police. I think that's an important piece of us taking ownership of our community so that we can create block clubs. I sit on some of you planning council and I chair the Community Improvement and Safety Committee. And one of the importance of that is that district, I know personally I live 671 Aurora Avenue. I know the issues that face my community may be a little bit different from the issues that face families on Selby. And so it's really important that we look at all communities, touch base with each family, find out how we can create those safe places for all families, how we can bring opportunity for our young people into the community where they're working, where they're getting the resources, the training they need, and that we together are also taking ownership of our community. So it's education, it's jobs, and creating safe places for our community.
Okay, Mr. Holmgren.
I don't have 3 things, I have 2 things. And those 2 things will flow into many more than 3 things. So, first one I believe is the primary responsibility that I stand for is a fair and easily explainable tax system that does not overtax the citizens of the state. I believe that each person should pay some tax, and I believe it should be not an equal, how do I say this right? We all shouldn't have to pay the same amount, and we all shouldn't have to pay the same levy, but it should be fair across the board. It should be very easy that a 5th grader could explain. We keep telling the joke at work, are you smarter than a 5th grader? Well, some days I don't feel smarter than a 5th grader. But we should have a sales tax and income tax system that can be explained by a 5th grader. That's the first piece. The second piece is state regulations on businesses and on our personal lives. I feel that it's every two years, or every year when the state legislature goes into session, we're not safe because it seems that they always think of new laws to tell me and my family what we can and can't do. And I don't own a business at this time of my life, but someday I hope to own a business. And the last thing I want is to have to be running down to the state capitol saying, if you do this, my business will not exist, and I won't be paying taxes. So we need to review the regulatory legislation in the state needs to be done, I hope by partisan committee. We need to consider sunset regulations on our laws, so that if it's a good law, it will be reenacted, say every 5 years or whatever is decided. If it's a bad law, it will expire after 5 years. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ellis.
Since Mr. Holmgren only had 2, I'm going to take the floor. I'm just playing. No, I want to get through. So I'm going to be within the rules. I understand. Okay, gotcha. So the 3 areas that I'm going to take a strong look at, and my top priorities, actually boil down to one. It's disparities, and it's disparities in that interdependent web of jobs, education, and healthcare. That they're all put in there together. If you have a good job, you hopefully probably had a good education, and you hopefully have good healthcare that goes along with it. And it only takes just a slip at work puts you out of your job, and then that all cycles down into this interdependent web that makes you say, why can't we have those supports around us to ensure that if for some reason you didn't get the best education, the system may have failed you, shouldn't have to mean that you can't get a job and you can't get health care. And for some reason, if you don't have health care, that doesn't mean that you can't have a good job, and that doesn't mean that you can't have access to better education. And so it's that interdependent web that I will be focusing on and making sure that the disparities that we see in our district, which are disproportionately negative from across the state, I want to make sure that we are addressing that education disparities, the jobs disparities, and the access to health care. And those are some of the things that I've been a part of already. I've been a part of addressing the education disparities on the St. Paul Children's Collaborative. We've channeled funds to Jackson Elementary School and North End Elementary School and Maxville Elementary School to address the education disparities and target those resources for cultural identity, which isn't necessarily something that our public system is designed to do. That cultural identity piece helps to inspire kids to do better into work that they do and gives them that confidence. In addition, I've been a part of looking at jobs. I've been a part and the board for the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative. And what that has done is reduce the number of young people going into the detention system, which we know those that have experiences in the juvenile detention system early in their lives are less likely to have access to high-quality jobs. So I've worked to reduce the number of young people going into the juvenile detention system through the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative. And on healthcare, I've worked on healthcare. I've put, on behalf of the school district, brought into our schools at the elementary level dental services for all of our kids. What I was able to do is gather our principals together and say, this is an opportunity that we have to provide dental services to our kids. So what do we need to do to make sure that happens? And so that's what I did. And
Okay, we'll have to stop now.